SEC Library Session for Guidance 102, Strategies for Success, Introduction to the College Library Part 2, Research Basics, created by SEC Librarians. After watching Part 1 of this Introduction to the College Library, you should now be able to identify a couple library services or resources which you think might be essential to you in college. You'll also know that you can get help finding research, citation, or other information from a live librarian 24/7. In Part 2 of this lesson, you'll learn about the most commonly used research tools, so you'll know how to take a first step when you need to conduct research for your college assignments. And in the Guidance 102 quiz, you'll get hands-on practice navigating the library website and a few research tools. Before we get started, let's acknowledge that research is a complex process of exploring, evaluating, and synthesizing information. It's a skill you'll develop throughout your whole time at college and hopefully beyond. You're not expected to come to college already being an expert researcher. That's why librarians and your instructors are happy to teach you about research in this course and others. In Guidance 102, you won't be learning about research in any great depth. We'll just cover some basics, so let me point out ways you can learn more. On the library website, you'll find a link to tutorials. Use these to learn about research techniques and to see demonstrations. Class visits with a librarian. Your instructors may teach you about research in your field, and they may also schedule times when the whole class meets with a librarian. Each library session is different, and the research skills taught are more and more complex as you advance in your program. This class teaches basic fundamentals, but in a writing class or a nursing class, for example, you'll learn more advanced research techniques and tools specific to your field of study. And you can always get one-on-one research help by contacting a librarian directly. Students have busy lives, and not everyone visits campus, so librarians are happy to help you with research via Zoom, 24/7 chat, or phone, in addition to in-person help in the Spokane SEC Library. If you wish, you may schedule a consultation with a librarian at a time that's convenient for you. Now let's learn a bit about research. Here's an example research assignment from an SEC writing class. Students will write a research essay related to the theme, Barriers to Education. They're required to use a minimum of 3 academic sources and must cite sources according to MLA style. Other sources may be from books, articles, or websites, and students are advised not to use Wikipedia. Because we can't identify who created the information in Wikipedia and the author's expertise, bias, the sources they used, etc., it's not generally used as an information source in college and professional research. Think about how you might find information for a research assignment like this example. Where would you start? What kind of information would you use? How would you decide if it's good information, appropriate for college-level work? How would you cite the sources you find and use them in your writing? What would you do if you had questions or couldn't find the information that you needed? Such questions can feel overwhelming if you don't have a simple first step to take. So let's look at some easy strategies you can apply anytime you need to conduct research.
Where should I start my research?
Always start at the college library homepage. You'll find a search box that searches multiple collections, SCC and SFCC library books, ebooks, articles, videos, websites, and more. You'll also see contact information, library hours, links to databases and research guides, and 24/7 help. Use research guides to learn about citation and which books, databases, and websites are recommended for researching a particular topic, like business or history. In Guidance 102, you may be required to research a career. Make your research easy by using the Career and Employment Research Guide.
What types of sources should I use?
Example types of information sources on the information timeline. Thinking about how information is generated is a good way to reflect on the many types of information sources we may encounter when doing research. When a newsworthy event happens, we may hear about it on social media, TV, or radio. Later, there will be articles in newspapers and magazines, and perhaps in professional and scholarly journals. Much later, there may be books on the topic, and it may be included in subject encyclopedias. At any point, we may find information on the free internet in the form of websites, videos, or other types of sources. To avoid being confused by the many information sources available, librarians often suggest that students focus on just 3 common types of sources when starting their research: books, articles and periodicals, and websites. Books. The library has both print and ebooks. You may use either. Books dedicated to a single topic are good for providing in-depth information, and subject encyclopedias are useful for providing definitions, overviews, and background information. You're not expected to read an entire book when conducting research, but you may want to read or listen to a portion and quote or paraphrase from it. Articles. As a group, newspapers, magazines, and journals are called periodicals. Because periodicals are published frequently, they're often a good source of recent information on a topic. Websites. It's fine to use any type of credible information available on the free internet. Later, I'll show you a simple evaluation method. After exploring books, articles, and websites, you may find that you want other types of information sources too, like a video or an interview, but focusing on finding these 3 types of sources first is a simple and effective strategy anytime you're embarking on a research project. So, how can you find these types of sources? The library has multiple tools you can use to discover books, articles, and websites. We'll see a very brief demonstration now, but you'll want to watch other library tutorials to see searching in more depth. On the library homepage, you'll find the library search box. If you try a search like this example, healthcare careers, you'll get thousands of results, so you may want to apply some filters. Selecting physical resources and ebooks will narrow your search to books and ebooks owned by the SCC and SFCC library. Resource type lets you choose books, articles, or websites. Full text online narrows your search to sources, which you can click and see immediately. Other frequently used filters include peer-reviewed journals and the date filter. An alternative way to search is to select a database or a guide that includes the exact type of information you desire. If you know that you want ebooks, go to Library Databases A to Z and search a collection of ebooks or e-audiobooks. Suppose you want periodical articles. Choose databases like ProQuest, CINAHL, or ERIC, or search Google Scholar. To find websites recommended by SCC librarians, consult a library research guide. Students researching the topic Barriers to Education could jumpstart their research using this Education Research Guide, which shows you suggested searches and tools you can use to find books, articles, and websites recommended by SCC librarians.
How can I decide if information I find is appropriate for college level work?
Evaluating information that you find is important. In other classes and through library tutorials like this one, you'll learn to evaluate information sources by asking 3 questions. Who? Who created the information? In general, we want this to be an expert person or an expert group. What? What is the purpose of the information? Normally, you'll want information which is unbiased, whose purpose is to educate and objectively inform, rather than to sell or persuade people to believe one way or another. And 3, when? When was the information created? We always want information that's appropriately current for the topic we're researching. Evaluating information sources can be hard. If you're not sure about the credibility of a source, just ask a librarian or your instructor. We'll share how we evaluate, and you'll learn more each time you ask. Remember that library research guides list research tools and sources vetted by librarians, so selecting resources from a library guide is a good strategy for finding credible sources.
How do I cite information sources?
You'll learn about citation styles like MLA and APA in various classes at college, and library databases have citation generators that create citations for you, which you can copy and paste. Also, librarians and SCC tutors will help you cite sources, and the library homepage has links to citation guides, tools, and how-to videos.
What can I do if I need help with research?
College librarians are available 24/7 via chat, and we're happy to help you find, evaluate, and use information at any point in your research process. Find research demonstrations and additional research tutorials linked on the library homepage. Check for understanding. On the Guidance 102 quiz, you might be asked to name a service or resource you think may be essential to your success at college. You know a variety of ways to get help from live librarians, including 24/7 chat online. And when you need to conduct research, what's a good first step? Either starting at the library homepage or just asking a librarian for help are the best ways to begin.